So, welcome to lesson number 3. Here we're going to be learning how to play the 3 chords on the ukulele for the G blues. We're going to play 3 different chords with the 7th in it. That means it goes 1, 3, 5, 7. Those 4 notes are in the chord. And that's a G7 chord. So here's the shape for a G7. Here, here, and here. I'll show the diagram to you. And then you put your fingers there, then turn it so you can play it properly. And we're going to just try to say G7 chord, G7 chord, G7 chord. And to practice, take your fingers off, put them back on, G7 chord. It will usually take you a lot longer to find your place at the beginning, but program your brain and your muscles to know where to go. The second chord will be a C7, and this is a really easy chord. First fret on the string closest to the floor, and play all 4 strings. Pretty simple. And then switching back and forth is going to be the hardest bit. So practice that slowly at first and then faster. Now you can play like this or like this. This usually doesn't hurt your finger very much, or your thumb, if you use the back of your fingernails in order to do that. Now some people get their fingers caught up, and it's just a question of learning how to do it gently over time. So practice both with your right hand and with your left hand. So just say this with me now. G7 chord, G7 chord, C7 chord, G7 chord. Say it with me. 1, 2, ready, and G7 chord, G7 chord, C7 chord, G7 chord. That's the first half. Now we'll do the second half, which starts with the D7 chord. A D looks something like this, but we're going to do it like this. Pointer on the string closest to your chin on the 2nd fret. Skip a string, and then same 2nd fret. And so we've got a D7. A really beautiful D7 sounding chord. D7 chord. Take your fingers off, practice that. D7 chord, off. D7 chord. Then we're going to jump to the C7 chord again. And back to the G7 chord. Now, it's kind of hard to see these things, so I'm going to do my best to play it really awkwardly in front of you. So the whole progression is going to be this. 1, 2, 3, 4. G7 chord, G7 chord, C7 chord, G7 chord, D7 chord, C7 chord, G7 chord. And that's 3 D7s at the end. Try to have a go. I'll show you what it looks like with the backing track I made yesterday. So if we try the whole thing, it sounds sort of like this, starting with the G7.